Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our reaction and review for The Bear, Season 2, Episode 5. This episode is titled Pop or Pop Pop. Okay, that is for two people in the comments. Let me know who you are. I will embrace you virtually from many distances. This episode, I think it's an epitome of what I like about The Bear. It's sort of like it's a weird sort of warm hug because a lot of this episode was basically just watching people scream at each other, and yet at the same time, like, that is exactly what I like about this show sometimes, where families fight, even, big extended metaphorical families fight. And you've got Richie screaming over here, you got Sydney freaking out, you got like Sugar trying to like
sugar up the situation.
yeah.
Oh, Uncle Jimmy, I need your help. I was just like, she's so cute. It was so cute.
The best thing out of all of that was Cousin's reaction to it, where he was just like, "You're embarrassing yourself. Like, what are you doing?" Everyone other than the target of Sugar's, shall we say, Sugar, is well aware of what is going on here.
Okay, listen.
Yeah.
Everybody put on your hard hats
I'm
for
ready.
some of the stuff that I am going to say about this episode, because we haven't watched ahead. We're just where we are in this. And this is just my opinion. And you guys let me know where you stand on the character of Claire, because I am out on thirsty Claire on so many levels. Like the last episode, whatever, she was gone. I was like, okay, maybe she's just gone. Like, he gave her a fake number. She was all like, hey, I got your real number and now I'm here. She was so thirsty that I was just like, I am not into this character at all, like at all. This episode was my least favorite episode of the entire series, because we really got to know more about Claire, kind of. Like, a lot of it was a lot of just like, look how clever I am, and I'm really sarcastic, and I'm able to kind of keep up with all the cleverness of everything, where on the other side you've got Carmy, who's just like, I am really shy. I really don't know what to do with all of this. These characters just don't mesh together in the way that I would want to see somebody who's Carmy's partner that really understands him. Like, she basically took him to a kegger. Like, she knows who he is. She said, oh, I used to sit behind you in class all the time and watch you draw these little shorts. I'm like, oh, okay, thirsty. You've been thirsty for him for a really long time. But she's like, she knows how shy he is. And I know that she was probably like, oh, I'll break him out. But like, why do you need to do that to him? Like, he's a grown man now. Like, you're past high school, you're past college, and you're still going to keggers. Great. You're a catch. I said what I said. You guys let me know in the comments if you are a Claire fan. I am clearly not.
I'm a Claire fan. I've said
oh
it.
My goodness. The minute that she came into the restaurant and Sydney was just like, you shouldn't be here, I'm like,
well,
Sydney, absolutely. And I know she tried to backtrack to be like, hey, listen, it's just about us, like, whatever, fighting and whatever. I'm like, no, Sydney, you said what you said. You meant what you said. I love you. You're correct. Okay. Get her out of here.
No, okay, yeah, she shouldn't be at the restaurant. I will agree with that part of this. I think once you walk in, you see that going on, you leave. Like, that's fine. I understand that. See, I was not fully in on Claire until this episode, but it really won me over, because I feel like, to me, this episode captures a certain part of life, a sort of longing that I think both Claire and Carmy have been kind of missing in their lives for a long time. And they're trying to figure out, can they get that back? I'm not saying it's going to work. It probably won't work, but I think this is something that they need to figure out for themselves. And I'll get more into that in a second. But before we do, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any other coverage we have of The Bear Season 2, of course, leading into Season 3, which has been renewed already. We got a lot to look forward to there. And by hitting that button, you help to support us to be able to create these videos and have the fun at the channel that we do, as I hit myself in the face with one of these. You know what? It happened. That's life. We're keeping it in the video.
Hit that subscribe button like Matt just hit himself in the face if you want to support the channel. Thank you so much to everyone who has.
This is why I don't wear things on these videos very much that have these sort of props, because I'm too prone to just like flail all over the place. But okay.
Oh, stop. You're fun.
Hey, I'm fun. I'm as fun as one of those keggers. No, I'm more fun than those keggers. I will throw that out there right now. See,
Yeah.
okay, here's the thing about the kegger. I don't think either one of them really thought, okay, this is my scene, but I think both of them, in a way, are clearly looking for something. And Claire is desperate enough and thirsty enough. I will use your thirsty adjective, but she's clearly been missing out on something for a long time. And whether it's a connection, whether it's sort of a what if with Carmy, that she was desperate enough to find out about, that she went through these channels. And maybe for her, a part of it was she really did just want to know on why he gave her a fake number, and that curiosity was going to just like drive her completely up the wall. But regardless of the reason,
She never got an answer.
no, she still hasn't got an answer. I wonder if we're ever gonna get an answer. Like, I feel like the answer is just that Carmy was either so afraid that she wouldn't really like the real him, or it wouldn't work out, or that he was too focused on the restaurant. But I think the thing here is that there's something about this that he likes, that it's a nostalgia, it's a feeling that he hasn't had in his life a really long time. I mean, we can call it romance, we can call it something else entirely, but it's a missing piece for him, and it's adventure that's taking him outside to the kitchen, where in this episode everybody is freaking out back at the bear. They're running out of time, like they're all hyper focused. Carmy's just like off gallivanting around with Claire, going to, like, he's not being responsible, but I think that's the point. I think he doesn't like what he does, even though he's good at it, and he's trying to find something else he likes.
Well, if he doesn't like what he's doing, then he should stop wasting Jimmy's money. Like, money is just like going here, there, everywhere. He doesn't even know how much money he's lost at this point. Jigger has to tell him it's like 100 grand more than he thought that it was. Like, it's so beyond irresponsible for Carmy, and I think it's a little bit out of character for him to go to this sort of other extreme, where it's like he has so many people depending on him. He has so much money dependent on him. Family is dependent on him. He needs to be dependent on himself. And he's been so distracted by Claire, which I think is one of the reasons why he gave the fake number. He's like, I am on a really tight schedule with a lot of responsibilities. I want this, restaurant to be something really special for Mikey. It's, he left this in my hands for me, and I'm going to throw it all away to go to a kegger with Claire. It's just like, why is this happening? And I think part of it is, a couple episodes ago, we saw him at group therapy where he was just like, oh man, I had to even Google fun. Like, I don't even know what fun is. I had to Google what that means, kind of thing. And then we've got this Claire situation that's kind of coming around, where it's like, yeah, he gave her the fake number because I think he knew she wasn't the one. Like, she's not the one for him. So if he's going to be leaving the restaurant to go and do this, it needs to really be worth it. I think he wants somebody who is like really that person, and Claire is filling that role, but she's not that person. Like, even when like they were at the kegger and all the fireworks are going, I saw chemistry all over Claire. Claire's character is very straight that way, where it's just like she has been in love with him since time. They've known each other since they were really little. She's been like thinking about him, standing near him, looking over his shoulder while he's drawing, like on and on and on. This for her is like the one that got away that she never was able to get. And now she's like, I got my chance. I'm shooting my shot. I don't care if I'm desperate. It doesn't matter to me. If he can just break through some of that shyness, he'll see that I'm the one, kind of thing. And I think for Carmy, it's, I'd like her to be the one, but she's not. But he wants to be with somebody. That's how I feel about it. That's sort of what it looked like with that scene where they were almost going to kiss. She felt like she had lots of chemistry, and he felt like he was just like overthinking it. Like, I'm in this moment. I should be in this moment. I'm not entirely in this moment. Why am I not entirely in this moment?
Yeah, and I don't disagree with you. I think, we have separate opinions on like the effectiveness of this story, but I think you're onto something here. And I just think for me, I'm enjoying sort of watching Carmy go through all of this because I feel like as a character, this is something he's going to have to figure out for himself that clearly he hasn't figured out for himself. And I don't know if this is because he spent so many hours upon hours in the kitchen focusing on that part of his life, but this idea of, quick hit of connection or just like that little bit of fun, it's a temptation enough that's giving him this feeling like I got to throw everything else away for this. And I think it's just something that he really has to take a step back, but I think he's so impulse driven right now that he's struggling with the idea of that. Even if in his heart of hearts he probably knows that okay, Claire's not the person for me, but I'm really enjoying this right now. It's new, it's fresh, it's different. Like that concept is exciting.
That's because the person for you is Sydney. Listen, like if you've been watching our bear reviews, you know that for a long time I was just like, these two are friends.
Mhm,
I love their friendship. I'm totally fine if they're just friends forever. And I'm still in that camp. I am
mhm.
fine if they are friends forever. However, like with Claire coming in, I've started to feel like irrationally upset that he's not with Sydney, and I don't really understand what's going on because while there's definitely a friendship connection there's like such a great respect between them most of the time. I know there was that whole like Carmy ditched her for Claire to go, do whatever while she was supposed to be with him doing things. Actually, maybe that's what it is
Yeah.
about Claire that I don't like is that she's taking him away from the restaurant and the people that I want to spend time with, which is the Richies and everybody else that's there and Tina and everybody's working so hard and doing everything they can to get this place together. And he's just like, okay, I'll go to this kegger. Okay, I'll go help you move some boxes. It's just like, why is this happening right now when there's so much money and such a short timeline? Like we're down to 6 weeks now and you're at a kegger? I'm
It's
just so mad at Carmy. That's what it's really coming down to. Claire, you know what? You're all right. I've been on a real journey in this
Claire
video.
is, we've now arrived at Claire is the real accessory to everything that is going on. And Carmy, this is all your fault. But it is. Carmy made the choices that he made.
Absolutely.
He could have decided, you know what, I don't want to go to this. I don't want to be around Claire. I gave you the wrong number for a reason. I don't want to spend time with you. I think Carmy is inherently a very flawed character.
He
He's
is.
shown that he has more than a bit of a temper. He struggles a lot with the weight of everything that's happened with his family. Now he's trying to find this balance in his life and he doesn't know how to be balanced. So he's just like completely teetering on this other side and he's going to make a lot of mistakes. And I agree with you that there is something very special about his relationship with Sydney. And
Mhm.
I think it could be really wonderful if they do get together romantically. If they don't, I don't think that that's going to be a slight against the show at all. But I think if they get to that point, they're going to have to get to that point sort of organically and realize that that's something that they really need from each other. And I think the rest of this season, to me, like you, I don't know anything that's coming up, but I think for Carmy now, it's going to be a lot of, okay, what is it that I really want and how do I go about it? Like, is this sort of temporary happiness or joy or whatever I'm feeling with Claire? Is this something that I know in my heart 6 months from now is still going to be there? Or is this going to fade really fast because I've had sort of this quick, fleeting feeling and maybe there's a reason why this didn't work out so many years ago? And I want to see the process of him making these mistakes and then figuring out how do I get out from making these mistakes once I've realized I'm in so unbearably deep and I'm causing so many problems because you already said it. He's well on the road to that already.
Yeah, I think the thing that Carmy is not taking into account, and it's tough when you have a project that's so big with so many people depending on so much money, and then you've brought in Claire. When you gave the fake number, you should have just been like, yeah, I gave you a fake number because the timing isn't right. I only have these few weeks before I'm gonna open. Can I just get to the opening and then I'll give you a call? Like he doesn't understand balance. We already know
Mhm.
that about him. It is something where he's just go, go, go all the time. He doesn't know how to have fun. He has to Google fun. So he doesn't really understand really how do you balance these things because he's been in such intense, situations as a chef. Then his brother has died and his brother's left him all this money and all these tomato cans to be
Yep.
like, hey, let it rip. And he's like, all right, I'm going to do that. And then all of a sudden in comes Claire that just, pulls the chute and is like, let's go to a kegger. Let's go do this. Let's do some other things where I think I think therapy is trying to let him know, like, hey, you can have a balance in life. And he's just like, can I? Cool. I'm just going to blow off the restaurant then and go do this. He doesn't have it in him yet, the tools to know how to actually balance.
I think what makes this season very exciting and probably challenging at the same time is the show is basically pointing at us and being like, hey, viewers, how are you going to handle characters you like doing things that you know probably aren't right for them? And we're seeing this
Mhm.
with Carmy. Like, I've been feeling this way about Ibra for a while. I mean, maybe it was right for
Oh.
him to leave the culinary school, but it's something that in our minds right now, it doesn't feel right. And we still don't know what's going to happen with that. But
No, we don't even know if he's ever coming back. I
yeah,
mean, Tina's been calling him. Oh my God, Carmy giving his knife to her. Oh, listen, for as angry as he is, as
yeah.
mad as I am at him right now for everything he's doing,
Mhm.
that was so sweet.
It was. It was really. There are a few moments of this episode, even just Claire's story aside, that I really, really loved. I
Oh,
loved that moment. I loved every single thing that Richie yelled in this entire episode. He had like 1 minute of screen time. He scored like 30 points and had 10 rebounds, and
yeah.
that's just him screaming at Sugar, him going back and forth on things, talking about the repair budget. All of this stuff with Richie is outstanding. I will give the unsung hero award of this episode. I do not even know this guy's name, but the guy who gets arrested at the kegger and is just starting to be like,
I
hey, you don't like us having fun? Why? You can't have any fun around here? I have met that guy at least like 10 times growing up in like the middle of nowhere, Texas. The bear is so unbelievably realistic where
I have never met anybody like that in my life, but I've never been to a kegger.
I haven't necessarily been to a kegger, but I have been to parties where there were people who were really, really, let's just say, boozed up. And at a certain point, they were like getting on a riding lawnmower and they're like, you want to see some of my plants? And then at a certain point, you're just like,
You must see some of my
what's
plants.
going on here? Like, how did we get to this point? And it's just like their characters would for sure act like this. And it just feels like this episode to be represents, a lot of the aggression, a lot of the ridiculousness that comes from people living a certain life. But because we have, Carmy as sort of a contrast to all of it, it makes the difference all the more stark, all the more interesting. And of course, alongside the fact that he really should be doing about 10 other things in order to actually help this restaurant with their wealthy investor breathing down his neck, and he's not even doing much of anything.
Oh my goodness. And like, yeah, them having to like balance all these like different permits and people
Yeah,
coming in and whatever, like nothing is getting done. And I think a big part of it is Carmy's not present
yeah,
and he hasn't really been present because if I remember correctly, he met her or like re-met up with her where he helped her move and all that. I think
yeah.
they were at 11 weeks and now he's been seeing her more often, which means to me he's been at the shop less often. And now they're at 6 weeks. Like he's not there as he should be right now. He needs to just tell Claire, I will see you in 6 weeks at the opening, and then we will figure something out. Like, she's waited her whole life for Carmy. She'll wait 6 more weeks.
If Carmy was at the restaurant, do you think it would have stopped the guy with the sandwich? Do you think Sandwich Man is still sandwiching at the bear if he is there?
I think if Carmy cares, then yes, the guy with the sandwich is done, but he may not care. Whatever keeps him in the shop until the plumber shows up.
I just it's such a fascinating season. I want to know how much of the actual restaurant we're gonna get here because we're already past. We've already made it so far into this. There's
Yeah.
not that much left, but you know what? We will be here to break down the rest of season 2. So
Hmm.
hit that subscribe button. We don't want you to miss anything else we've got coming.
Hmm.
And thank you to our patrons as well
Thank
for your
you.
support. We really appreciate that, and we'll see you guys here next time.